Hello everybody, welcome back to the Lord of the Rings Online. This is Gnarlo here. Say hello to everybody, Gnarlo. Good boy. When last we left off, we had just finished up the Fall of Moria instance. We had traveled over to Rathwald, and Rathwald had told us about all the history behind why khazad-dum had become Moria. So now we are going to talk to Bosi. We have traveled up and down this valley. I have met every dwarf in this particular instance here. Excuse me. Good coffee. Met every dwarf in this particular open world instance here and made sure that none of them have a ring over their head anymore. And none of them do. It is only Bosi now. And he is ready.
It is time, friend. Khazad-dum awaits.
He is ready to give us the last of the quests. Chapter 8, Before the Doors of Durin. So we are going to head and click on him. We have finished all the expedition quests. Remember, you have to finish all those expedition quests before you can get started. It says, let me know when you are ready, Gnarlo, and we will walk together to the doors of Durin. With these newly repaired pickaxes, our dwarves will soon clear the way into Moria. So let us go ahead and accept it. And then we will travel on a little walk over to the doors of Durin and see.
I have need of your great skill.
See how it's going to go with us opening up the doors. And remember, the word is melon. Friendship. Melon. Alright, are you ready to leave? Let me know and we shall walk together to the doors of Durin. Travel now.
Long have Durin's folk desired to look upon the halls of Moria once again, to reclaim their birthright from the goblins and orcs who now dwell there. Has that time now come? Not even I can foresee their fate.
As you hear there, they no longer have Gandalf doing the voiceovers. It's now Galadriel doing the voiceovers. A nice starry evening. There's the Pleiades, the seven sisters up there. And we are going to go over here and talk to Bosi and carry on the mission here. We will stop at the outpost here for a moment before continuing on to the gates, Gnarlo. We will need to establish a camp once we are inside the mines, and I want to ensure that everything is prepared. You still have the pickaxes, yes? Good. Follow me. This way, Gnarlo. We're not walking, we're jogging. We will no longer need this outpost. After all, the Hollin Gate will soon be open. Hail, my fellows, how goes your work? Greetings, Lord Bosi. We have been doing our best to support the effort, but 'tis the wolves. We've heard them howling for the past few days, and it is unnerving. It will take more than wolves to keep us from khazad-dum. You're right, my lord. I do not hear them now. Perhaps they will leave us in peace? It is quiet, isn't it, Gnarlo? What do you think? I do not like this, Gnarlo. Something is wrong. The air is too still and quiet. Look, shadowy shapes at the crest of the hill. Alright, to arms. We are under attack. Basically, we have to make sure Bosi survives this. Easy enough to do. Yes, I did get my mouse difficulties straightened out, so that should no longer be an issue. Big thing was that I needed, whoops. Of course, I need to get my directional issues, make sure I'm actually facing something I can attack. Do not rest ye, friends. This is not the last of them. I got me an actual, real, honest-to-God mouse pad. And a nice aluminum one as well. So I can actually move my mouse around now without it jinking and squirting all over the place. This must be the leader. Slay him, or we will not survive the night. Zuzar. I meant talk about, you see all the burns and everything on these shadow wargs. You know where that comes from. It's from Gandalf. If you remember in The Lord of the Rings, they were attacked by these shadow wargs and all on that hill. They were surrounded on the hill, and Gandalf set the trees ablaze and began scorching the wolves. Another victory for the dwarves. We are victorious. Nothing can stand against the dwarves when roused to anger. You go ahead, Gnarlo, and bring those pickaxes to war at the Hollin Gate. I will catch up to you later. If you remember, they were attacked by the wolves. They were attacked by the shadow wargs. And Gandalf set the whole hillside ablaze. And the wargs were burned and charred. And that's what's got them all stirred up. As they said, something has taught them the fear of fire. And it was Gandalf that taught them the fear of fire. And you have a wizard who is remarked and noted for his fire and firework skills, and who wears the ring of fire on his finger. And then you've got a problem attacking him. Pick up the pace. This wagon needs to be loaded within the hour. Within the hour? Are we truly so close to opening the gate? That's what I've heard. Soon the golden halls of khazad-dum will be open to us. Well, let's not delay. Back to work. That's it. I knew during this particular instance all the little people told stories as you passed them. I was always wanting to stop and see them in the open world instance, you know, when we were doing the quest here. Just to make sure they weren't telling little stories then. See what's happened with the wagon. It'll be no problem, you said. The wheels will be fine, you said. This is a momentary setback, that's all. A momentary setback? Look at it! I think the crates are soaking through. Did our ancestors let such obstacles stand in their way? Our fathers' fathers knew better than to mire the wagons in the muck. I was right, the crates are definitely soaking. We just need to put our minds and our backs to it. Alrighty, I will let them deal with their soaking crates and their stuck wagon there. Y'all have to excuse me. For some reason, I've got a bit of a cough this morning. Do not know why. So I may be sipping on the coffee a little bit more than usual to try and soothe my throat. What do you think caused all that rubble to block the Hollin Gate anyway? I don't know. Haven't really thought about it. The weather maybe? You get big storms up in the mountains. Oh, perhaps that could be it. That makes sense. I hope that's what it was. Okay, the dwarf craftsman. We got Bori and them still throwing down rocks in the water. Will you stop that? No, you won't. Sebi? Sebi, you were throwing rocks in the water the last time I came through here. Have you not stopped and gotten any work done? Of course not. Bokur. What is with you people? You know, you're not going to fill this whole pool up one rock at a time, you know. What is it you think you saw? I'm not sure. Whatever it was is gone now. And there is war. Okay, we're here at the Hollin Gate. Should be right between those two trees. That's Broger over there. We've already seen Bori. Wonder where Broin is. Before the doors of Durin. Very good. These pickaxes look to be in good shape and will be a great asset as we finish unearthing the last of the rubble. You can leave them in that crate to the south there, right next to Lord Broger. That it? No please, no thank you. Hello, Broger. Good, Gnarlo. I want to talk to you. These pickaxes will be a great help, Gnarlo, even if you took your time bringing them here. Our workers are almost through the rubble already. Don't worry about what is done. I'm more concerned with the pool. There's something about it I don't like. It makes me feel uneasy. Some of my dwarves have been casting stones in the water, and I appreciate it if you could get them to stop. It makes me nervous. Tell those fellows not to disturb the water. It makes me nervous. I agree with you. I've been telling those fellows. Now that I can actually tell those fellows the orders come from Lord Broger, perhaps they will listen now. Hey, what? Let us make sure we've got... Oh, is it not letting us turn on our light? Oh, F10, right? Alright. Can't turn on the light right now. Guess it's not available during this instance. Boker, put the damn rocks down. I did not mean any harm, Gnarlo. I will leave the water alone. Had plenty of practice scolding drunk hobbits. I think a few rock-throwing dwarves won't be a problem. To tell you the truth, this pool makes me nervous too. I will leave it alone. Alright, now Bori. I'm sorry, Gnarlo. I'm just so bored of all this waiting around. Alright, let's go back to Broger. And let us get these doors open. I'm going to assume horses work if I have to do any more running around this pond here. I'm going to need to mount up. Oh, Broger. There we go. Very good, Gnarlo. I appreciate your help. I understand that many of my dwarves are restless, but there's just something about that water I don't like. I will be relieved when the workers have finished removing the rubble from in front of the gate, and we can leave this unpleasant shore. So wait for Bosi to arrive. There you are, Cousin Bosi. How goes the work, friends? You have been a great help to us in our work here in Hollin, Gnarlo, and I know you will be a great boon once we are inside khazad-dum proper. It would hereby be honored if you would bear a pickaxe and help us to clear away the remainder of the rubble that blocks the doors of Durin. This is a historic opportunity, friend burglar, and it is my joy to offer it to you in return for the many services you have given us already. Take this pickaxe and clear some of the rubble from the gate, friend. Because I guess among dwarves, what can be more honorable, what can be a bigger honor than doing a little work for them? Alright. Good work, my friend. I will say a few words, and we will enter the mountain. My friends and kinsmen, we have dreamed of the great halls of khazad-dum for many long years. Tonight, they will be ours again. Gnarlo, what is wrong? Is something wrong? What is it? Is something wrong? Remain on your guard. What is it, Gnarlo? You say you saw something stir in the water. What was it? I don't see anything now. Are you sure you didn't imagine it? Stay on your guard, my good dwarves. Do you see anything? That is a scary-looking moon. I see nothing, Lord Bosi. I don't think there's anything out there. The water looks so still. I guess it was nothing. Let us enter the mines. Rejoice, dwarves of my company. Khazad-dum awaits. Oh, Lord. There went Broin. Broin, my son! Gnarlo, get back to the outpost. Bring help. Return to the small outpost and get help. This way, Gnarlo. Hurry. We must return to the outpost. Whoa. Tentacles, tentacles everywhere. Oh, no. Keep running, Gnarlo. I'll fight it off. Keep running. I'm glad that he's running. Yep, let me mount up. Those are some ugly looking tentacles there. It doesn't seem to be. Doesn't seem to change no matter how far away from the shore I get. Close up or far away, it's still slapping us and causing us damage. Alright, looks like all the dwarves are around at the gates now. Other than any guards they might have left here. Those poor dwarves. Well, I'm sure we will do something about it very shortly. Looks like the actual combat battle part is over with. Gnarlo, what's happening? We heard shouting. Were you beset by some enemy? One enemy or many, I do not know. Hello, Bosi. Did you see how the flesh of that creature deflected our blows, Gnarlo? We need more than ordinary weapons if we wish to stand against the Watcher of the Black Pool. It waited in the depths, watching as we strove to open the doors, and struck just as we were most vulnerable. Curse its foul high for taking Broin and many other fine dwarves besides. They will be avenged, but for now we must retreat. We cannot hope to enter the doors while it lurks before them. Hey, 3 a.m. Completed the instance before the dwarves of Durin. We must retreat with what survivors remain. We will revisit our vengeance upon the Watcher in the Black Pool. Broin, my son. I know. I am so sorry, Broger. All right. Talk to Rathwald again.
How can we hope to stand against that monster?
We are in full retreat, Gnarlo. The beast of the pool is too much for our meager weapons. If only we had some relic of the old days, we might stand a chance against the creature. The weapons of our fathers were of stronger and keener make, their craft forgotten. Today's forge skill is lesser. A cache of weapons was discovered in one of the caves near here shortly after we arrived. Perhaps one of these will stand worthy as a bane to this monster. Alright, let's see which reward we are going to get. We've got the Survivor's Robe, which, nope, not as good as our fine Mighty Hunter's jacket. Survivor's Waistcoat, not as good. Survivor's armor, which would be as good, but we can't wear it. Survivor's blade, once again, might be a good second-hand weapon, but no, the blade of Caria is better. Survivor's bracelet. Once again, it'll have to be a good one. I don't think that's as good either. And Survivor's jacket. 655, nope. Looks like anything and everything we might get here is definitely going to be Survivor. Trash, so 11 something. Okay, so we are going to go with the Survivor's armor. That will be the best thing to sell back.
We will reclaim the lost halls of khazad-dum.
Chapter 9, A Weapon of the Elder Days. We dare not approach our old camp until we find some way to defeat the creature in the Black Pool, Gnarlo. I cannot let you pass. A number of dwarves of our expedition are resting at khazad-dum, just to the west. Speak to Hundi there. He was instrumental in recovering the cache of weapons of which I spoke. So we need to go and talk to Hundi here in the khazad-dum. Hundi. I think he is up the top of this hill here. Ah, there we go, Hundi.
What do you need?
Rathwald is right, my friend. Without a truly magnificent weapon forged in the ways of old, we cannot hope to so much as score the flesh of that ancient creature. But relics of the past sometimes turn up when least expected. My friends and I found a cache of ancient weapons not long after the Iron Garrison came to this place. Select one of these weapons, and it may be that your choice will help us clear the way into Moria of that terrible creature. Take 2 these settings, for I know of one who can help you understand the uses of these and other relics. Alright. Burglar's Sword, which increases wield chance. Let's see, it's 35.7 DPS. Burglar's Mace, and they're all going to be 35.7. Have a chance of decreasing the target's movement speed. Our Dagger, which is 1% auto attack critical hit chance. I think we are going to go with that critical hit chance. I might go with the parry if I was more of a group oriented, but since we are going to be, and we're going to get the bronze setting of will, might, morale, and power. Since we're more of a solo burglar, we're going to go for the increased crits.
Come and stay a moment.
As you see, legendary items, relics, and deconstruction. Relics can be obtained either from out in the world or by deconstructing a legendary item. If you open up your legendary item panel, you can add relics to your legendary items by inserting them into the matching slot in the weapon. There are 4 types of relics: settings, gems, runes, and crafted. In the legendary item panel, you can choose which type you are looking at by clicking on the appropriate tab in the relic section of the panel. Select the relic you want to add and slot it by right-clicking the relic, clicking the slot button, or dragging it into the appropriate slot. Once a relic is slotted, you cannot remove it without a scroll of removal. If you slot over an existing relic, it is gone forever. And these relics are such a grind and all, it is best to make sure you don't destroy them. Get you that scroll of removal. When you deconstruct a legendary item, you should see a collection of relics that you have obtained, and depending on the level of the legendary item you have deconstructed, potentially a heritage rune that you can use to carry over some of the item's experience to a new item or to some crafting components. Alright, so yes, we are starting the great legendary item lottery now, and you'll see what we mean as we go along. Chapter 10, Forgotten Lineage. Weapons of this make may have a long and storied history, Gnarlo. Its tale grows ever with the felling of evil foes. The more servants of evil this weapon cuts down, the more deadly it becomes. Only a skillful few can read the tale of a weapon from its craftsmanship. I send you to one who can further aid you, the dwarf Waffy in Thorin's Hall, in the distant land of Ered Luin. Search out Wolfie by the great fires of the Forging Hall in Thorin's Hall. He can assist you in finding one who has some skill in reading the lineage and power of a weapon such as this. Alright, so we need to travel to the Ered Luin and talk to Wolfie. We should be able to get a ride down here at the Stable Master. We will go ahead and do that. Don't know where we're going to be able to go.
Hail,
Let's
friend,
see.
and well met.
Hinidwaith, Oregion, the Trollshaws. Let's travel to Rivendell. Swift travel, nope. We are going to port back to our personal house, which is in the Shire, and then I'll catch a ride from Michael Delving over to the Halls of Thorin. So we will see you whenever we reach Wolfie and the Halls of Fire. We have arrived here in the Forge Halls. You see, once again, we've talked about Thorin's Hall being a pale imitation of what we saw over there in that instance about the fall of Moria. Here is Wolfie, standing next to the forges. We have a Forge Master and a Relic Master, and he will probably be able to tell us how to use them.
What do you need?
You have come a long way to be here, Gnarlo. What business could bring a doughty burglar such as yourself all the way from Hollin to Thorin's Hall? Wolfie looks at the weapon and whistles his astonishment. This is a relic of the old days, to be sure. I fear I cannot identify the lineage and strengths of this weapon for you. It is ancient beyond my reckoning, learned though I may be in these matters. However, my kinsman, Roser, the Forge Master, will surely have more to say than I, for his knowledge is vast and exceeds my own. Show him the weapon, and he will give you an assessment of its strength and potential. As you see, legendary items must be identified by Forge Master before they can be used. This process reveals certain strengths the weapon may have. So let's take it over here to Roser, the Forge Master. See what he has to say. As you see, you have used a Forge Master for the first time and are sure to be many more visits in the future. Yes, there are. Forge Masters can identify legendary items for you, and when they need to be reforged, they can reforge them for you. Alright, so as you see, we're carrying quite a few around right now. But the one in particular we want to see is the Burglar's Dagger of the Third Age here. So let's go ahead and identify this item for 5 silver. And yes, identification costs will go up the higher the weapon. As you see, we have an old Burglar's Dagger of the Second Age, which is a much better weapon. You got to be minimum level 59 to use it. So we've still got half a level before we can use this one. But it was sitting around in the kinship house just waiting for a burglar of appropriate level to come along. So let's go ahead and identify this item, shall we? There we go. You've successfully identified your first legendary item. You can now add this weapon to your legendary item panel by equipping it, or by opening the panel with Shift-I and adding it directly to the slot you wish. As long as the item is equipped, it will accrue experience points when you kill monsters and when you complete quests with item experience rewards. We've seen a lot of those since we hit level 50. We just haven't been able to we haven't finished this little quest line in order to get a weapon and put that experience to good use. But it's not a big loss because we will have plenty of experience building up as we travel through Moria. Alright, we get to choose one of these legacies. We have the critical response skill damage plus 1%, subtle stab damage multiplier, or the burglar bleed damage. I think I'd like to go with burglar bleed for the moment. Let's add a little DPS on top of that. Add a little damage over time. Alright, and let's close it. Or is that... it's got all 3 of those, does it? Let's take a look and see. Equip your new weapon. So it had all 3 of those, right? Right, yes. Alright, we're going to throw it on us. take this one, and we are going to replace the Protector of Estelden with that. Let's see, parry, in combat power, parry rating, agility, vitality. Yeah, we'll throw that one there, so we're using another blue one. Okay. Now we need to talk to Waffy.
Well met.
Incredible, Gnarlo. This weapon is truly mighty, and you are fortunate to come into possession of such a thing. However, it's not strong enough to stand against the creature of which you speak. 1,000 curses on its foul hide for keeping the dwarves from Moria. I see that you have a number of relics. You should apply one of them to your weapon to further customize its abilities. Once you have done so, speak to me again. Alright, so we're going to slot a setting. Just go Shift-I. And there's our first one, the Burglar's Dagger of the Third Age. Let's see which setting we want. Do we want Might? Do we want Morale? Do we want Power? Or do we want Will? I'm thinking... Excuse me just a second. Sneeze coming on. Alright, thank you. Sorry. I am thinking that we are going to go... Let's take a look at our character sheet right quick. Agility and Vitality are actually two of our things, but this is not going to give us either. So... let us go with... setting of Will... Power's at 31, or Morale's at 32. Let's go with the setting of Morale. Gives us the physical mastery rating, the tactical mastery rating. We'll slot that one. Are you sure? Yes. And there it is. Okay.
What do you need?
A good choice, Gnarlo. You will require more relics as you adventure, and you should feel free to customize your weapon with the appropriate relic for each situation. This weapon is still not strong enough to defeat the Watcher in the Water, friend burglar, but it might soon become so. I would tell you how this might be. Now, the reason why I'm not just kind of picking and choosing as I go along, before we use our blue weapon, before we use that secondary, the second age weapon, I would definitely do some research and say which are the best settings, which are the best skills for a burglar, etc. But this is our first one, and we will be very quickly turning it back in for a better weapon. Even if we didn't have that second age one sitting there, we would be very quickly, I'm sure, getting a better weapon than the beginning legendary here. So it really doesn't matter too much what we throw into it. Okay. Rune of Defense. We're going to get the deflection, the avoidance, and we need to choose one of these. Scion of the Drowned Kingdom, which gives Westerness damage. And Guardian of the Deep Halls, which gives Ancient Dwarf damage. Now, Westerness damage, I think, applies to Ancient Evils. Applies to things like Ancient Evil and Undead, maybe. I know it's Ancient Evil that it applies to. You know, all your ancient... old enemies that the people of Westerness, of Numenor, might have been fighting. And Guardians of the Deep Halls will probably be more appropriate down here. If I remember right, Ancient Dwarf damage applies more to stuff like trolls, orcs, goblins, things that you will find down inside Moria. At least the upper levels of Moria. This might be useful when we get down into the depths, as we saw there with the ancient evil that the dwarves found down at the bottom in the shadowed cavern. Let's finish now.
Come and stay a moment.
Legendary items, titles. You have obtained your first title item. These can be used to apply titles to your legendary items, similar to how you would dye a piece of armor. Titles will modify a weapon's damage type, slayer qualities, and several other properties. Alright. Weapons of such worth, Chapter 11, Worth Beyond Measure. Weapons of such worth improve as they are used, Gnarlo. Only when they are wielded in battle can they achieve the true measure of their greatness. Equip the weapon and use it against worthy foes, and it will improve as you do. When you have achieved a high measure of worth, bring it to me or the learned Dithalion in Rivendell, and one of us will advise you on what must be done next. So there you go. We need to achieve the 10th level advancement with our new weapon. So normally we would go out and kill stuff in order to get that 10th levels. We may do it slightly differently, but regardless, I think we have finished up the episode for today. So at that point, I will wait here beside the Forge Master, the Relic Master, and Waffy. We are going to smoke a pipe of pipeweed, and we will see you next time. Thank you for coming along on the opening of the doors, or the attempt to open the doors of Moria. Our first look at the Watcher in the Water, and our first taste of the legendary item grind that we are about to start. And we will see you next time. Thanks for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you then. Remember that the servers are all going down in about 4.5 hours. They go down at 8 o'clock Eastern this morning, and they're going to be down until 3 p.m. Supposed to be down for about 7 hours, and that is about 4.5 hours away. So we will see you after the servers come back up. And at that point, Nimrodale here should also be open to transfers. Because today is the 13th, and that's the day that Nimrodale is supposed to open up for people transferring off. So we may have a brand new server when that starts up as well. We'll see how things go. Anyway, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.